welcome to episode 2 of Khris Cast. And today my guest is Amy DeLeon. Amy, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
make
I
it
love
out to
your
Vegas.
yeah. Yeah, I love your artwork. I see it all the time. I know you do a lot of contests. I do contests too. So I see you're in competitions a lot. So, I like voting for you. I like voting for anyone who does stuff with the tax year, any disability really. When they compete in anything, I want them to win.
Yeah, thank
Because
you. Yeah,
obviously
so do
winning
I. So do I.
whoever wins, if it's a tax year or whatever disability, it just raises awareness and lets people know, hey, could
We're
do
still
stuff.
out here, yeah, doing
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So you're all the way out in Tennessee. Are you going to come to the next taxi conference in Vegas? What do you think?
I would really like to. I need some help, like traveling,
Yeah.
and so I just need to find if my son or daughter would be willing to come with me.
Okay, gotcha. Your son who I mistaked for your husband last time.
Yeah,
You're like, that's my son. I'm like, wait, I don't know what you're eating, but you look really young.
well, thank you. Yeah, he'll be 30 in next month. In October. Yeah, he'll be 30.
You you take like a certain vitamin or something, or what do you do?
I don't know. I think it's probably like, I don't want to say like jokingly genetics, but I really think it has something to do with genetics.
Right. So, Amy, I know a little bit about you, but if we could go back a little earlier, I'd like to learn a bit more about you. Now, I read you were in the military for a while, and I saw you went to design school as well. Let's start maybe like in childhood. Where did you grow up, if I can
Sure.
ask?
Sure. I grew up in the DC area, so Northern Virginia, and it was a very diverse population. And I grew up kind of thinking that the world was like that, just
Right.
all that diversity.
Yep.
And
I I hear you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm 100%. I grew up in LA, and exactly my thoughts. Exactly, Amy. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to agree with you on that point.
yeah, like I was saying, I thought the whole world was, that diverse population. But where I live now, it's not diverse at all. It's one type of people. It's just foreigners or anybody different is not really. It's not really common. Versus,
Really?
growing up in DC, the area, you just get used to all the different
Right.
dialects and
Right.
people and cultures and expectations, and here it's just kind of
Abs-
boring, I guess.
yeah, absolutely. I grew up in LA, so I know I grew up in this big city. So, yeah. And then when they send me people from big cities, we all kind of express the same exact sentiment where it's like we're just used to everyone. It's just every different kind, no matter what culture, where they came from, what religion. It's like live and let live.
Exactly.
So, uh, are you thinking about possibly moving, getting out of that area eventually?
I would really like to, because I miss that diversity, and I also miss the, I guess, variety of things, opportunities that you have, like museums and movies, and not that we don't have movie theaters here in Tennessee, but just all the diverse things you could do. It's very expensive in that area. So where I live now is a very low cost of living. And when you're
Right.
on disability, that really is concern.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely is. And actually that's in our last group meetings, I lead the mid-age and the Las Vegas groups, the support groups to the International Taxi Foundation. And our last guest I had come in was a financial advisor, and she works a lot with veterans and a lot of people. And her company, the company she works with, they focus on people who are. I think that her statement was something like they focus on people who were too often left behind by the financial industry. And I've experienced this as well. That where some places where if you don't want to invest enough or something, then you can't really work with those companies.
Yeah, they
Um,
dismiss you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, so yeah, but definitely like the diversity, equality. I grew up with that as well, so I totally feel you on that, 100%. Um, so you grew up in DC, and then I saw. Did you go to design school or go to the military first?
First, I joined the military. I was in the Air Force for 4 years.
Oh, where did you go?
I was actually stationed in England. It was a lot of fun. To be 20 years old and over in England, that was
Yeah,
significant. We'd go
yeah.
to London a couple times a year, and I can say that I got married in England.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So it was just really, it was nice because I didn't have to learn a new language, and the system of money was similar to the US. So it was not difficult at all.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
so
liked it. Yeah, it was a lot of
easy
fun.
transition. Yeah, like that. I don't have to learn a different language. I'm just going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the easy way. That
I
sounds like
was
fun.
stationed in England for 2 years, and it was really humid and green. And then I was stationed in New Mexico, and totally opposite. It was
Wow.
dry, arid, and very
Yeah.
like straw colored everywhere.
Yeah. That's like where I live, like Vegas, kinda. Yeah, everything's brown and dry as heck out here.
Yes, yeah,
Oh my gosh. So you were all hydrated and then you were dehydrated,
right,
basically.
yeah. Oh, my
So
son
you
is
went through
driving me crazy.
so you went through the hydration phase and the dehydration phase, and then what happened after that? Happened after that.
And after I was in the Air Force, I went to school, to college. I went to the Air Force specifically just for the GI Bill. And
Right.
I ended
Like
up liking it, but with two babies, it makes it really hard to say you can be on call 24 hours a day. When you have
right,
children, that's your priority.
right,
And so I didn't feel like I didn't want to reenlist, even though before the kids I was having such a great time and I really wanted to reenlist. But after the kids, it was like, hey, they are really my focus, and I
right,
couldn't. When you're in the military, you have to pretty much sign your life away and be on
right,
call 24/7, and I really couldn't do that.
right, right, right.
So yeah, then I went to college and it did go for interior design. I was gonna go for nursing. Kind of wish I would have gone for nursing, but
Really? Wait, why is that? Why is that?
well, when I was in the Air Force, I was in public health. So a lot of what I was doing in public health would transition really easy to nursing.
I see.
And
I was gonna
I
ask you
really,
what you did. I was gonna ask you. I was curious what you did in the military. Okay,
Yeah,
public
I
health.
did public health, and I was communicable disease and commissary inspection, food inspection, and it was all things that really what intimidated me, Christy, was I was thinking nursing school would be really hard, difficult. As a single mother, it would have been hard, but in reality, I had so much hands on practical knowledge when I was in the military that it probably would have been easy. Knowing what I do, knowing what I know now, I'm not saying nursing is easy because that's not, but for me,
Right,
it would have been easy to go through school because I had all this like medical terminology and I had all this hands on experience and I knew the procedures.
right, right. So what I'm curious, what made you choose the art school that or design school? If you had all that medical hands-on experience,
Yeah.
uh,
What what
what
uh
made you change your mind?
what made me change my mind was I was thinking that I was a single mother and it would be very difficult to go through college. And I wanted something a little bit easier, less mind consuming. Also, nursing had me, like, I looked at the classes, the planned classes, and I had so much math. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
I really don't want to take all that math. And
Nope.
I always like drawing. So I took a couple design classes, and I can remember my they call it a lab when you actually draw your designs. And I
Mhm.
would just get lost for hours and not even know that the time had gone by. I kind of knew if I can do that and just be like lost and not even care about the time, that was
Right.
something that I really wanted to do.
Either medical, I'm gonna say this because of the stories I've heard from other people in support groups with the ataxia and just in our community. Seems to me, heard a few stories of people, and some people have like not great stories like I do with their old employers. But it seems like people who work in the medical field that come down with ataxia or any disability, usually medical places, because they are medical facilities, they understand best and they usually provide the most accommodations. So, of all the people I talk to who still work with the disability, ataxia or any disability, it seems like the majority of the people work in the medical field because that medical office knows what accommodations is easier than like they know it better than other companies would because of their inherent
So
they're in that field.
they get it, they
Yeah,
just,
so
yeah.
yeah, yeah, you just get it. But
Except I
also,
wish
I
I
think
would,
it's good. Yeah, but also, Amy, I think it's really good. Art is really good for us people with disabilities
yes.
because we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
move that much. Either one would be a good choice. I'm 50-50 if you ask me from where I sit.
Well,
And just think, yeah,
it's definitely something that helps deal with stress and really helps my fine motor skills.
yeah, yeah.
Plus, I've
Abs-
become really introverted with ataxia, so I'd rather just draw all day or paint or do whatever because
right,
it's not like a group activity.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like I want to be alone more than before doing like you said, like off on your own, like what'd you say off on your like just like where the hours just pass by and you don't even really realize it, but you're still doing something productive, positive. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I am anyway.
You are. Found it really interesting that you do design. When I was younger, I It's not the exact design that you do, but, they're divorced now, but my mom, my stepdad. My stepdad had a sister has a sister, has my old stepdad, ex-stepdad. They're divorced. I don't know what the right word to guess. They're not together anymore, but anyway, my stepdad, when I was a teenager, let's put it that way, his sister did a set design. I was always, like, thinking, "How the heck does someone end up in design?" But, after doing all the stuff I do with modeling, and I did a lot of assisting, photography assistant work, so I wasn't always in front of the camera. I would do stuff behind the camera assisting. Obviously, now I have physical limitations, so I'm not really helping behind the camera, but, so I got involved with a lot of set design, which I still am now, but, it's just kinda like it's just like a lot of things in life, you just kinda organically just kinda end up or gravitate towards something. But yeah, when I was younger, I could not figure out, like, what an obscure job. And then, I went to, here's another funny thing. I went to, like, a summit conference thing in LA, and it was at the Design Institute in LA, in West LA, and it's amazing, like, you don't really think of, like, who designs, like, a notebook, who designs the pattern on this reusable napkin, but, like, there are people who do this, millions, thousands, who knows, a bunch of people who do this for a job, but, like, the rest of society, we don't really think about that, but when I went to the design studio and I saw all the stuff that people create and make, I was like, "Oh my gosh," I realized how many people do this, and I was like, "That's kinda like what Amy does," and, I was thinking of this little thing. You also design, like, notebook stuff, like bees?
Yeah, I do pattern designs, and I do designs that can be applied to products already made. So I don't do product design, I do pattern design that can be applied to products.
That's awesome, that's awesome. See, that's like a job that will always be needed. So
Well, I think
jobs.
that you can do it's something that you can always do even on the side. You don't
Yeah,
have it doesn't have to be your main job.
yeah, 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 it's a really interesting job for sure. 'Cause I like designing stuff. I'm not really that great at it, but that's the thing about art is you just start wherever you are and you just, you know,
Well,
and
it's
it's
also very subjective.
right.
So what
Yeah,
one person likes may not be another person's taste. So it's not bad. There's no such thing as bad art. It's just art.
right. Absolutely. I kind of feel that way about people and their personalities too. It's like people are just people, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea,
Right.
but yeah,
Exactly. That is
we all may not be someone's cup of tea, but we just do, and you end up finding your tribe, your friends. Yeah, totally agree. So then after you went to design school, which design school did you go to?
I went to the University of Tennessee. Now,
Okay.
the only I guess there are a couple different design schools in Nashville that I didn't know about till I found till I entered the world of design. But I didn't go to those schools. But design is something that you can like you get the bare bones at whatever college or university you go to, and what you do with it after that is what's really important, like what you do hands on afterwards. You can
Right.
always learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you, what age did you get your ataxia diagnosis? Was it when you were in school?
No, actually, I was older. I was working. My kids were, I guess, in junior high, and I think I was around age 36 or 37 or 30, like around there. I don't remember exactly.
You look younger than that right now, so how old are you? If I can ask,
I'm
how old
50. What year is it? 53.
you're lucky. Did you wear a lot of makeup growing up? Is
No, I didn't.
maybe that's
But
why you have good skin.
I
Maybe that's why.
don't.
Maybe that's my problem. I need to stop wearing makeup. I heard that before. Someone said don't wear like foundation and powder, but it's kind of hard when you
It's
model
really
and you take
difficult to
pictures.
not. Yeah,
But I try not to wear makeup like during the day when I'm home. I don't wear makeup. But when I'm on camera or out in public, yeah.
people treat you differently when you have makeup on versus
Yes.
not.
Yeah. I people treat you better when you just look better, just dress up. I mean, I've gone to clinical trials, I've flown, I fly for them. And like especially in winter when you can dress up wearing coats and all that, more layers, you look more respectable at the airport. I mean, you can tell a big difference. Like, okay, it's winter, so I'm wearing a coat. Is it really that big of difference versus summer when the sun don't want to wear a coat? I'm still the same person. So you were 33, and what kind of type of ataxia do you have?
I have spinal cerebellar ataxia 8, type 8, and
Oh, 8.
my brother also has that.
Really? Is he older or younger than you?
He's younger than me, and his noticed his symptoms when he was in college. And I don't think at that time he knew
Mhm.
what exactly it was. And I didn't really address it with him because he's a very private person. And so he wasn't really open to talking about his issues.
Right.
So I kind of just respected that and let it go. I mean, as long as he was doing okay. But later on, he did find out it was Sky 8, and that's
Mm,
that's how I kind of, when I had symptoms, I figured that maybe Joe would know, maybe my brother would know. So I talked to him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, this is what I have. So you might ask your neurologist if they'll do a test for that specific,
yeah.
type." And so it
Yeah.
was really easy to pinpoint because he already had the diagnosis.
Right. Wow. I have SE type 10, so we're pretty close. 8 and 10. Yeah, pretty close.
Isn't it wild? Isn't it wild how different all the scars are? Like
It is. It really is.
genetic causes and how the
Yeah.
symptoms
Yeah, the
manifest.
causes. Yeah, as do you have a parent with the CAH or do
Not
you not?
that I know of. My
Oh.
my father unfortunately passed away when he was in
Oh.
his early 50s, and my mother passed away in her 70s. But I really, honestly, Chrissy, I think that I had uncles that had problems with alcohol. And I think that
Mm,
some of that was they masked their issues with their health with
mm,
drinking a whole lot. So similar symptoms of ska are like when you're drunk. So
yeah.
it's just like, I really don't know, but I suspect strongly.
Yeah.
Because if you think about a generation ago, they didn't have the information, meaning the medical
Right.
providers and the people in general did not have
Yep.
information to help them. understand what was going on. And so a lot of people
Absolutely,
didn't,
yes.
they went undiagnosed or they self medicated, and
Mhm.
it could have been that. Now, doesn't your mother also have Scotland?
Yeah, she has a C10, so does my uncle, her brother, my grandfather, who's from Colombia. And I think I heard he had two brothers with it as well, and their mother had it. That's as far back as I have heard, but I'm sure it probably goes further back. But yeah, back then they didn't know. There was, I mean, people are still misdiagnosed today. It was to a much, much, much more uh, worse degree back then
And
because
there was
yeah,
also no national network, no national place to turn when you got that diagnosis. And a lot of medical providers would just make up something they thought was close to.
right, right. Yeah, I grew up thinking that with my grandfather and my mother, I grew up until the mid 90s when they discovered the ataxia gene, thinking that they had MS because that's what doctors told them.
Yes, yeah, I've heard that from a lot of other people as well.
You have, yeah. Yeah. And after you got the diagnosis, you said you were 33. Is that right?
But around 36,
Oh,
37.
36. Okay, 36. So how did you deal with it? The like mentally, how did you
Well,
process it?
of course, I was a little bit upset, but when I say little bit, I mean little bit, because I was so consumed with raising my kids and working that I really didn't have time to really think about it that much.
Right,
Um, and,
right.
and and plus at that time, the sun devastating where I couldn't work. It didn't really affect my work. In fact, it didn't it didn't really start affecting things till my late recently.
Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, really? So, and when they saw you at the conference, when did I see you? Like, time is going so fast.
At the leadership,
At the
I don't
leadership
remember.
conference, that's right, in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, when they mistake your son. That was so funny. Please tell him sorry again. Were things starting to get difficult for you before or after I saw you at the leadership conference?
Really before, because I moved back to Tennessee after living in Pennsylvania. I moved back largely because I had to stop working because it was just getting too dangerous for me to be driving back and forth, and also
Yeah,
to be in a warehouse situation where things
right.
could fall, and I had to go up and down stairs, and
Yeah.
I had to
Oh,
carry
geez.
things that were,
Stairs and boxes? No.
yeah,
No, get out
exactly.
there. No.
And plus in Pennsylvania, it sometimes gets a little bit snowy, and the roads are real icy, and the sidewalks are icy. So, um,
Oh,
yeah,
that's dangerous.
not fun.
Yeah, that's scary. I don't know how you guys in the snow. I mean, I'm from California, so I see people like on TV shoveling the snow or driving the ice. I'm like, how are they doing that? How are they doing
How
that?
do they maintain their balance?
No, speaking of maintain your balance, so I used to pick up all the dog poo outside. I have two Chihuahua dogs, and the little rake thing and the scooper. Man, I almost fell into dog poo a month ago. So now I got a dog poo cleanup service because I was like, I can't. I'm not falling a poo. Nope. Yeah, it was getting harder and harder, and I was kind of leaning on the wall, the brick wall. But then eventually, I was like, nope. One time, almost falling a dog poop. One time, almost falling a dog poop was enough.
you can you can figure out ways to get around stuff, but then it gets to the point where it just becomes too dangerous, or like in your case, it would be too disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes, I can do a lot. We know I can't stand very. I can stand just. It's not even really walking at this point. I feel like I'm more propping myself up in a weight shifting. Is that how you feel? How do you feel?
Yes. Yeah. I feel like I'm constantly, when I stand in front of this sink, I have to maintain 3 points of contact. My feet on the ground,
Yes.
like leaning up against the counter. So
Yeah.
I'm prone to get wet, and I'm constantly shifting my weight because
Yeah.
I feel like my balance gets off so quickly if I
hmm
stand on one leg for too long.
I was talking to this girl. She works at this place that they created this mobility device that actually comes, it's like this electric. There's nothing like it I've seen before. They're a startup company, but it comes to you and it literally scoops you out of bed and it takes you to go to the restroom. And there's a hole at the bottom of it. Dude, you gotta check this out. It's pretty cool. But yeah. Um, I guess that's for, I mean, so I was talking to her, and I think mainly the device is for people who really can't get up at all. Like, I, I feel like I'm almost there. Like, I feel like it's very hard to get up, and I'm like, I literally push myself up, and I'm leaning on the wall, and yeah, I'm preaching to the choir. But she asked me serious questions, and she was like asking me something like, "How does it feel?" And I said that a taxi feels like an oxymoron. I feel like I wear like heavy pants, like cement pants. My legs are so heavy or bricks. So you think like you'd be heavy and grounded at the bottom, but then I feel like I'm gonna fall with every step. It's not weird. So like when something's heavy, right at the bottom,
Yeah,
yeah. But like
you
I
would
guess we're
think
not now.
it would be steady, but yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I find that it's I don't know if this says something about insurance or the medical profession or what, but a lot of um a lot of our symptoms are like borderline, right on the line of, like you were saying before, you want to keep trying, but yet you have to push up or prop yourself. And
Right.
you're talking about that device to help people get around who are not mobile. You know, with ataxia, you're told, and you should be active, keep up your exercising, and still try to do stuff, but
Right.
yet you really need help doing stuff,
Yes.
just getting around.
Yes.
And so you're kind of caught in this in between world where you just want to do more, and you need to do more, and you should do
Yes.
more, but you also have a really hard time. And so you're caught in this limbo between
hmm
what I'm talking about. The insurance won't help because you're not totally disabled, you're not totally bedridden,
Right.
you know.
Right, we're not. A lot of different disabilities, it's like we're not bedridden, but we do things, we have to learn how to do things in a complete different way than we used to. Adapt a complete different way. So, after you got the diagnosis, Amy, for me, I stayed home for like, I wanted to hide for like a long time. I was in denial. I'm curious, how did you deal with it?
Well, I I did try to look a bunch of stuff up, and I got really scared because a lot of the things that I found were not really good, good sounding. Again, like I was saying, the symptoms really didn't start till like about 10 years ago. So I was able to maintain a job and raise my kids, and but I was still scared, you know. I did see a lot of people that were talking about ataxia, and I thought, well, darn, I don't want to get like that. You know, I don't, I can't imagine my life like that, but it happens.
It does happen, and we're not dead. It's not the end of the world. And I think a lot of us learn how to live life, although some of us will do a kicking and screaming along the way. It's either sink or swim, right? That's how I view it.
Yeah, these are the cards you've been dealt. Just deal with it. Just get on with your life. I mean,
Right.
you know, things
Agree. Yeah.
need to get done, and you still have bills to pay, and I have a cell phone, so I gotta pay that bill. You know,
Yeah, the
I'm
world
hungry,
keeps
so I
turning.
gotta eat. Yeah,
Yeah, it
figure
keeps
out.
going around. Yeah, it's just learning how to adapt. So, did you go through a period of staying home, not did you go through a phase like me, like were you into the L for a long time, or were you smarter about it?
Well, I don't want to say I'm not smart, but or you're not smart, but I find myself. I find that I really prefer to be by myself more. I mean, the more I'm around other people, they don't understand. So
Right,
they know the old me and how I used to be, and they expect the same behavior. And things are so different now, and they don't
right,
really understand, and that's okay. I would just rather be by myself and do my own thing, and
right,
not have to deal with all the world is not a setup for people that are not, I don't want to say not able, but are not like typically able.
right. I hear you 100% on that. Yeah. So, to get over, let's say, for example, when you go out in public and there's like something you encounter that's frustrating, someone who's not very graceful or nice, very kind or understanding. How do you deal with that challenge, Amy?
Well, I've learned not to take anything personally because someone else's behavior doesn't reflect me, it reflects what they're going through. And so I don't take anything personal. So if someone is not being gracious or being mean, outright mean, that it's no matter to me. Really, honestly, I feel sorry for them,
Hmm.
and because they don't understand, they're not compassionate, and that is a total lacking on their part. But I'm not
Hmm.
going to hold it against them. I mean, it's just how they are, and I mean, I avoid those people. Well, there are toxic people, and you may not know who they are at first, but you figure it out real quick, and you just avoid those people.
Yes, absolutely. So, when did you? I know you. Are you still a group leader of Hope for Ataxia? Do you still? When did you get involved with that group?
Probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I had just moved back to Tennessee. So yeah, it was 5 or 6 years ago, 2018.
That's
And
awesome.
I just started going to the meetings, and liked all the people who came to the meetings, and it was a nice place for us to meet and talk. And we all understood each other because we all had similar issues. And so
Right.
I just feel like when you talk to people who don't have a taxi, sometimes they want to rush through your words. They want you to
Mhm.
rush. And that makes
Mhm.
me more nervous or anxious. And so I just tend to
Mhm.
not say anything. But the Hope for Taxi group was totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I just spoke with the Mark and Crystal the other day. Isn't that Mark?
Yeah,
Mark with Glory?
Mark was the founder, and yeah, Mark and I think her name was Courtney. They were the founders, and Mark
Mm.
stepped away to do his own thing, and Courtney kind of gave it to me.
Is that what happened? Okay. Interesting. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I just spoke with Mark and Crystal the other day on Zoom. We had an intro because, they have a podcast, the Mark with Glory podcast. So I think I might do theirs. Yeah. And there's all these podcasts popping up. That's a good way for people to easily, I mean, it's so nice with technology now, it's so easy to do. And it's a nice way for people to promote or talk about whatever issue they work on or promote whatever's going on in their lives, their business,
Isn't
whatever
it great?
projects.
Because
Yeah.
here I am in Tennessee, and I'm talking to you in
I
Vegas.
know, right? I know, I look at technology. Amy, I have a funny part of the show I wanted to on. So I wanted to ask you, like, I know like there's so many stories, so many, but of like going to Blockway, it says, let's say like a car blocks access to get into the grocery store. Or, like the dumb comments someone makes, like I know, for example, the dumb comments people often make to you. What happened? What's for what? Did you break your foot? That's the most common one. Did you break your foot? One lady asked me at the nail place. This always happens when they get my nails done. I don't know why. They feel like they can't ask. What happened? Was it serious? So I'm just saying I have different responses now. Like one time when someone was like, "Oh, is it serious?" I'm like, "What's your definition of serious? You mean curable rare disease?" So, do you have any examples of stuff like that that's ever happened to you when out in public? Like the funny, cringy things people say,
Well,
and
I have two things. One is that people in the South are very polite, and they won't ask you uh, awkward questions. They really won't, usually. But
right?
when I worked in Pennsylvania, um, people would ask me stuff all the time. And
Oh,
one time at work, someone asked me what was wrong with me and what happened. And I was like, oh, well, when I was a pole dancer, I dropped on my head. And they're like, oh my God, really? None of
that's so
us are
funny. Uh,
splashing.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. Well, that's at least one good benefit of living out there. Because in the cities, we have all different kinds of people and more people. Most people have common sense. They don't ask you, but every once in a while, there's someone who just doesn't know, doesn't have social skills that does. Once in a while. But usually people are fine. I find usually people are fine. It's just every once in a while, there's someone who's out to lunch.
I'm the kind of person that would say, no offense, but it's really none of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think more people need to kind of realize that if they just stop trying to ask so many questions and be so involved with other people's lives. And if they just focus on their own lives and their own selves, the world would be a much better place.
Like, Chris, there are so many people out there with issues that you can't see. And
Right,
me is wrong with me. My question is, what is wrong with you?
right,
I mean, if you expect me to tell you my business, you gotta tell me your business.
right, right. Absolutely. Yeah, some people feel like so, it seems like they feel entitled to know all your stuff
Right,
or just casually ask you something that is logically kind of a delicate issue. And if you first, your friends are different, but when you first meet someone, but also when you first meet someone, sometimes their approach, their approach could be like they're genuinely curious and they can come across respectful. And in that case, it's like,
right,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. Totally,
yeah,
would have a totally different answer for that person
right,
than someone who was just, trying to make me feel less than, or trying
right,
to make themselves look better. Yeah, I just would
right,
respond totally differently.
right, absolutely. Agree 100%. Um, Amy, what do you have going on right now? What can we end this with? I want people to follow you. What projects do you have going on right now that we can follow?
Well, I do have a blog, Purely Accidental Designs blog, and they can buy merchandise that has my designs on it. But also, I'm
Cool.
working currently on, I'm thinking of doing something for Hispanic Heritage Month, which starts on Monday. And I also have a lot of upcoming fall and Halloween and Christmas
Oh,
designs
nice.
coming up.
Nice. Yeah, I'll get you links from you. And so when we edit this and put it all together, I'll want to include your links to your store and your work for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for coming on today. It's my second episode. This is very grassroots. I made this little podcast studio in my closet. So thank you for coming on because, yeah, I'm trying to get this up and going. And it was so great to learn more about you and your artwork. I love your artwork. Check out Amy's artwork. It's awesome. Buy some of her stuff. And yeah, well, I want to just say again, thank you, Amy. And this has been the second episode of Khris Cast. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.